Joe Biden recently got an honorary degree from an honorary degree. Actually, they should be taking away his degrees that he does have, because he's no longer capable of retaining the knowledge that those degrees once required.
He's a corrupt goofball.
He's a corrupt goofball. Those two things don't normally go together, because you think of a goofball as a kind of an innocent, Forrest Gump, and then you think of corruption as requiring a devious mind, sinister mind. But he does have a sinister mind, and he has a sinister cabal.
He does.
A sinister cabal around him. But anyway, what people are really chuckling at in a sneering way, is the fact that when he got this honorary degree, the president of Howard, a guy named Dr. Wayne Frederick. By the way, a lot of times these guys who have dubious intellectual credentials just go around parading doctor. People who really have good credentials normally, they'll call themselves professor, but if you call yourself doctor and you're not a medical doctor, this is a little bit suspect. Like Dr. Jill Biden. Well, in any event, this guy, in handing out the honor degree, he chooses to praise Biden for two things, and both are funny. The first one is his analytical intellect. Not just his intellect, which would be suspect enough.
He has no intellect.
But analytical suggests precise. It suggests a certain carefulness, a certain ability to discriminate, an ability to lay out an argument. When's the last time you heard Biden make an argument about anything? About the best he can do is a kind of a staccato outburst like, come on, man. That's about all he does all the time. Yeah. And the other thing is he was praised for, quote, this is even funnier, his popularity on both sides of the aisle.
That is a joke.
It's a complete joke.
Absolute joke. Because Biden is nothing but divisive. Look at the speech itself that he made.
Look at all the Joe Brandon and the Let's Go Brandon chants across the country, even at sports games, wherever Biden goes. So it's pretty clear that a substantial portion of the country regards him with contempt, with derision.
But there's a reason for it. There's a reason for it, because he himself is divisive. He says things about half of the country that is not favorable to half of the country.
Well, he's callous and he's mean-spirited, and then look, he gets this award for his analytical intellect and his popularity on both sides, and then he gives a speech that is laced with invective, that demonizes really all his political opponents as white supremacists. Here we go. He goes, white supremacy is, quote, the most dangerous terrorist threat to our homeland.
No, he is.
He is, and his administration is, and the FBI is, but certainly not white supremacy. Yeah. Look.
Not to mention, honey, he's the most racist person that I know. Besides Bird, who's dead.
Right, exactly. His mentor was Bird, who was in the Klan.
Look at all the things he said about blacks back when he was a young senator. That they were predators. He said all those things, right?
He treated young blacks basically like these are people who are subhuman, and these are people that we cannot apply normal remedies to these people because they're like animals. Yeah. And that's the clear implication of what he said. And now suddenly this guy's metamorphosed into a fighter against white supremacy. A guy, by the way, who palled around with segregationists who said that they were good friends of his, he could do business with them. This is the guy we're talking about, Joe Biden. And I think here is where, again, the role of the media in suppressing Biden's past, in covering for him, and in solemnly treating this like this is a genuine article. All of this, I think, really rankles.
It does. And it's really funny on Twitter because, of course, the article is saying that on Twitter, the conservatives were like mocking it, right? Because the RNC research says before he went to his Delaware beach home today, Biden was given an honorary doctorate from Howard University for his, and then quote unquote, quote, sound analytical intellect, unquote, and popularity on both sides of the aisle, laughing emoji.
Well, talking about the sound analytical intellect, there was a quite illuminating Fetterman made some comments, and his comments were a complete word salad. They were garbled. They made absolutely no sense. But then an article appears in which says this is what Fetterman said, and his entire statement was completely cleaned up. It was in perfectly good English. And so what people did on social media, very effective, they posted side by side the verbatim transcript of what Fetterman said, and then what the adoring reporter said he said.
Right.
And it was not the same at all. It was completely different. Basically, the reporter was sanitizing Fetterman, making him sound not only coherent, but eloquent. So we've got this strange phenomenon. I mean, Dianne Feinstein, who basically doesn't even know doesn't even know that she's not in Washington, D.C.
Oh, no.
You've got Fetterman and you've got Biden. So the Democrats really know how to pick them.